We're out in the cold. We're out in the cold voluntarily because we care about running government for the people. But the president is putting people out in the cold without asking them by your leave. And Nancy Pelosi said the other day to the president, as we sat in the White House, most of those people, almost unanimously, don't have a daddy to call up and say, give me $1 million. Let me tell you what we did the first day we were in the Congress of the United States sworn in. We passed a bill to open up government the first day we were in office. Let me tell you what we're doing this week, the second week. We're passing bills to open up the government to serve the American people. Yes, we lament the pain that is being inflicted on the 800,000 people who work for the federal government and the 440,000 people that are being asked to work with no pay. You know, back in the 1860s, they talked about working with no pay. Shutting down the government is not a policy that should be followed. What if I ran for president of the United States and said, vote for me, I'm going to shut down your government? There are some 38 million people in America. We're talking about 800,000, and we need to take care of our employees, David. David. We also need to take care of 38 million of our fellow citizens who are worried about getting a check to put food on their table. This is not just about federal employees. This is about hundreds of millions of Americans who rely on government. Security and safety. Veterans who rely on the government to send them a check. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to keep yelling and screaming and hollering until this president opens up that government of the people, by the people, and for the people. We are the people. Ronald Reagan went to Berlin, and he said to Gorbachev, tear down that wall. Let us all be saying, Mr. President, open our government. We need to raise our voices. We need to walk the walk. We need to talk the talk. And we need to make sure that 800,000 people can put bread on their table tomorrow. I want to thank my friends in organized labor. Through history, many have died. Many have been injured. Many went without. Many walked the line so that workers would get fairness. That's all we are asking, Mr. President. Fairness for our federal employees and fairness for the American people. Open up their government. God bless you and Godspeed. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we have our next speaker, for the sake of security, some of you have gone onto I Street. It's very important that we keep everyone safe, so please move on to 16th Street. Those of you on 16th Street, let our brothers and sisters have some room so we can stay safe. So please stay off of I Street. With that, I'd like to introduce and please welcome Senator Mark Warner from Virginia.
We have gone through 2 years of this Trump administration. You know, every day in this administration, you think it cannot get worse. And then it gets worse. First of all, I want to thank all of you. every federal employee who has gone to work or been furloughed and have done their job, even though this White House has not done their job. I want to echo what Steny said. It is time to open up our government. Earlier today, under the leadership of Ben Cardin and Chris Van Hollen, all the Democrats came to the Senate floor and said, pass the House bill, open our government. You want to fight about border security? We'll have that discussion, but do not hold 800,000 people's lives as political pawns. Mitch McConnell said he can't do that. Mitch McConnell said he can't do anything that the president won't sign. Well, I would point out that the Constitution of the United States of America says the Congress is an independent branch of government. The Constitution of the United States in Article 1, Section 7, Clause 2 says the Congress can override the president with 2/3 vote. And the funny thing is, in the middle of December, the Republicans, not the Democrats, the Republicans brought a bill that would keep the government open, and it passed 96-2. Let us vote on that legislation and override this president. Friday, we're going to do something we haven't done in a long time in this country. Where workers, contractors, you think about businesses that live and work near our parks, but particularly the 800,000 federal employees aren't going to get your paycheck. That is morally wrong. That is economically wrong. And we must not let that happen. So let your voices be heard. What my hope would be is, rather than this president getting on TV, or rather than this president taking what he even called a photo op trip to the border, let Donald Trump come out and explain to you, the workers of America, why he's keeping this government shut. We will succeed. Keep the faith. God bless. Let's get our government open. Thank you.
Brothers and sisters, please welcome Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland.
It is great to see all of you, Rich Trumpka, AFL-CIO, and everybody gathered here to say very simply, Donald Trump, Mitch McConnell, Senate Republicans, cut it out, open the government, end this unnecessary and shameful government shutdown, and do it now. Now, we had a president of the United States who said he would be proud to shut down the government. There are now millions of Americans and more every day who are being hurt by the lack of important government services. We have a president who says he's proud of that. We have 800,000 hardworking federal employees who aren't getting a paycheck. I want the president to come over and listen to a mom from Maryland who yesterday started a GoFundMe crowdfunding campaign to help pay the tuition of her son at college, because she's a federal employee. And tomorrow, she's not going to get a paycheck. And she pays for her son's college on a monthly installment basis. She's not going to be able to make that payment. she had to go on the internet to try and fund that monthly installment payment on GoFundMe. And the president says he's proud of his government shutdown. President said he can relate. Said he can relate. He says, I know people can just make do. In fact, I don't know if you saw what the Coast Guard said to their employees and other agencies. They said, hey, when you're not getting a paycheck, here's how you can supplement your income to get by. It says, have a garage sale. It says, clean out your attic, basement, and closets at the same time. Oh, let's just have a great time during the government shutdown. Give me a break, President Trump. You know what? Between flying from Mar-a-Lago to Trump Tower and the White House, this president cannot relate to any of these hardworking federal employees. Now I'm going to end by emphasizing a point that Senator Warner made. This is a shutdown started by Donald Trump, but every day that it goes on, Mitch McConnell and the Senate Republicans are accomplices in this government shutdown. And the reason is they have the power today to vote to open the government. The House 1 week ago, their first order of business, they said, we're not going to mess around with anything else until we open the government. They sent 2 bills to the United States Senate, both bills that had bipartisan support from the United States Senate in the past. And that's why just about an hour ago, my great partner and colleague from Maryland, Senator Cardin, and I went to the floor of the Senate with our other colleagues, Senator Warner, Senator Kaine, and all the others gathered here. And we said to Mitch McConnell, let's get consent, because the Senate can give consent anytime it wants if we all agree. Let's get consent to vote today, right away, on those 2 bills to reopen the government. And he said, you know, we just can't do that because, you know, the president says he doesn't want to do that. Last time I checked, the United States Senate was a separate branch of government, and nobody should be contracting out their constitutional responsibilities or their votes to the President of the United States. Nobody should be doing that. And anybody who just sits on their hands is an accomplice and complicit in the shutdown. So let's end it. We can end it today. Keep your voices loud. Keep marching, because we know that in the end, justice will prevail here. Thank you for being part of this great cause. End the shutdown now.
Brothers and sisters, please welcome Senator Ben Cardin of Maryland.
Brothers and sisters, I am proud to be here to stand with you, with my other colleagues, in unity to tell President Trump, stop holding America hostage to your politics. This has nothing to do about government from the point of view of security. It has everything to do with President Trump and the way he does business. Senator Warner's right. It's been a long 2 years. Every day we hear more and more things. This shutdown is outrageous, it's dangerous, and it has to end now. Now. It's well beyond just the 800,000 that are being asked to work without pay or furlough without pay. We have the best federal workforce, the best government workers in the world that work on behalf of the American people. I'm proud to represent them in the United States Senate. They do their work the best in the world, and they should be paid, and government should be open. There's no excuse for it. What makes this totally outrageous is that on 6 of the appropriation bills, they're not even involved in the president's wall debate. And yet the president's holding them hostage. They passed by over 90 votes in the United States Senate. As been pointed out, we're a co-equal branch of government. We not only have the votes to pass it, we can override the president's veto. Let's do it now. Do it now. Do it now. There is no reason for government to be shut down. None whatsoever. It's more than just the 800,000. It's the people of America who are being denied the services they need. It's our economy that's suffering as a result of President Trump's policies. People are being hurt, and it's got to end, and it's got to end now. So our message is simple. If we can't convince the president that Mitch McConnell give us a vote on the floor of the United States Senate on the bipartisan legislation that passed the House of Representatives. We want that vote now. We want government open now. We are united. We are together on behalf of the American people. God bless.
Brothers and sisters, please join me in recognizing the following members of Congress who have joined us today. Congresswoman Joanna Hayes, Connecticut 5th District. Senator Amy Klobuchar from Minnesota. Representative Tom Swayze, New York 3rd District. Representative Katie Hill for California 25th District. Congressman Don Beyer, Virginia 8th. And now we're going to please welcome American Federation of Government Employees President J. David Cox.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. So here we are, brothers and sisters, out in the cold on a windy day to tell Mitch McConnell to stop hiding from reality and allow a vote to reopen the government, brothers and sisters. We all know there's a simple answer to this stupid mess that Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell have made. We know that the Senate voted unanimously for the Republican spending bills just 3 weeks ago. You've heard our senators tell us over and over, and nothing has changed then except what the right-wing TV people say on TV, and our president and Mr. McConnell are scared to death of them. Hey, brothers and sisters, they were elected to do a job, and by damn, they need to do it. I'd like to make sure that everyone knows that this effort at extortion is more of a lockout than a shutdown. We're either locked out of our jobs or we're locked into our jobs without pay. You know, maybe even more than an accurate description that I would say, it's a shakedown, brothers and sisters. It's a shakedown. It couldn't be more of a shakedown if they were wearing a mask and a gun, I can tell you that. And what's being held hostage? Our tax dollars are being held hostage. The government programs we've all paid for are being held hostage. Our members' jobs and paychecks are being held hostage. Senators, Republican senators, do your damn job! Let there be a vote in the Senate! Hey, don't be scared of the President of the United States! You were elected in your state! Do your job! You know, brothers and sisters, we're not scared. We're out here. Are you scared? Hell no, we're not scared. Job. Do your job. Do your job. Do your job. Brothers and sisters, they can threaten, they can lie, they can steal, they can bring the United States government to its knees. But we're going to be fighting. We're going to be marching. We're going to be standing up. And we are going to make sure and hold Mitch McConnell accountable. Mitch, do your job. Mitch, do your job. Mitch, do your job. Brothers and sisters, I'd like to call forward a person that knows firsthand what it is right now. He represents over 30,000 correctional officers throughout the federal prison system. They're forced to go to work in some of the most dangerous jobs in this country. They're working without pay. Eric Young, president of our Council of Prison Locals. Eric, come on down.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. Our law enforcement officers all around the country today are showing up in our nation's 122 facilities. We work with some of the society's worst of the worst, enemies foreign and domestic inside of our prisons. There are murderers inside those prisons, similar to the one that murdered a two-tour war veteran, Jose Rivera, in the United States Penitentiary in Atwater, California. Like the one that murdered Eric Williams, a young man at the height of his life in Canaan, Pennsylvania. Also, the narco drug dealers that plague our prisons that murdered our beloved Lieutenant Osvaldo Alvarate as he went home to his loving wife and 2 children. Our prisons are inherently dangerous, yet today we don't have enough correction officers to basically secure our prisons from the terrorists and other security and disruptive threat groups inside those facilities, particularly those notorious MS-13 gangs the president often mentions. Today, our prisons are operating despite these extraordinary conditions, using secretaries, teachers, and cooks to fill in behind missing correction officers. This administration has levied policies to underfund and freeze our hiring inside our prisons. Yet today, we have more than 30,000 heroes still trying to go and keep this country safe. In closing, I want to remind Mitch McConnell what he stated less than a year ago. You said, Senator, we will see which senators make the patriotic decision to stand up for the American people and who vote to continue to fund our government. You said, Senator, the American people will see which senator votes to shove aside veterans and military families and vulnerable children holding an entire country hostage. You said, Senator, it's completely unfair and uncompassionate to filibuster government funding and harming our troops to crowd out every other priority. I repeat those words to you, Senator. Do you have any decency? Do you have any decency? Our pay is our priority. Funding the internal security of this nation is our priority. The mechanisms that keep Congress and this American government working. To know that we have our United States military, our Coast Guard, not getting a paycheck. It's a sad and indecent act. Sir, we are the people who protect the people in America. And America is watching you and this Congress. Do not be hypocrites holding federal employees paid for hostage and ransom. I remind every politician on the Hill today, your allegiance is to the American people, not to an administration that has constantly attacked the working man. Get this government up. Get this government up and get it up right now. In this lockout 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 right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome National Federation of Federal Employees President Randy Irwin.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. I want to thank all the union members across the country, everybody here and everybody watching this around the world. Thank you. You make our fight possible. Without you, we wouldn't be in this fight. Thank you. I want to thank everybody who came out on this cold day to deliver a message to the president and to Capitol Hill. We need to stop this shutdown right now. Because let me tell you, this shutdown isn't funny anymore. It was never funny in the first place, and right now it is ruining people's lives. 800,000 people, just federal employees, and tons of contractors as well. and everybody across the country is impacted. But they have had the carpet ripped out from under them. They've had their income shut off indefinitely until this Congress passes the budget. These are middle-class families. They cannot sustain for a day, a week, a month, or any period of time having their income shut off. How out of touch is this president? Does he not understand the struggle of middle-class people in this country? So the president was interviewed the other day, and he said, "Don't worry, they'll make adjustments." What kind of adjustments did he think was he talking about? Is he saying that people aren't going to fill prescriptions that they can't afford to fill anymore? Are they going to miss paying their bills and ruin their credit? Are they going to just turn off the heat in the middle of winter and tough it out? How out of touch are you? We need to stop this shutdown right now. In that same interview, he says, they say, "Hey, can you relate to the predicament of people whose lives you're ruining?" And he says, "Yeah, I can relate." You think he can relate? Can he relate to our predicament? Don't tell us that you can relate. Those words don't mean anything. Show us you can relate by shutting down this government, opening this government right now. Okay. All right. I got to introduce a person I'm very proud is here. Her name is Jamie Rodney. She's right here. Thank you. She's a NEPI member. She came all the way from California. She's a Department of Housing, Urban Development employee, does great work. She's also a wife and a mother, and it's her turn to tell her story. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Randy. Hello. I'm a little petite here. Good afternoon, fellow Americans. I am a federal investigator for HUD. I enforce your civil rights and fair housing for a living. So what does that mean? Regardless of your race, national origin, color, familial status, sex, religion, or disability, you have the right to choose wherever you want to live in America. And if anybody gives you any trouble with that, you contact me and my team at HUD, and we protect you with our federal laws. And I am here today to ask President Trump, Senator Mitch McConnell, and all Senate Republicans to stop this shutdown now. Stop holding 800,000 federal employees and their families hostage. End this shutdown now. We are middle-class Americans and cannot afford to, as President Trump said, wait for as long as it takes for our next paychecks. We have mortgage and rent to pay. We have student loans to pay. We have daycare costs to pay. We have car bills to pay. We have all of our bills to pay, and we need our paychecks now. Get federal employees back to work so that we can go back to work for you and all American citizens. There is the important work at HUD and all of the federal agencies that is not being done now because of this shutdown. Because of this shutdown, millions of Americans are at risk at being evicted and homeless because HUD rental assistance payments are not going to go through if the government is shut down. And you know who that affects? That affects our seniors, our disabled, our veterans, our children, our families who need our government to help them survive. So I am here to speak on behalf of my family, the families of all 800,000 federal employees who are being shut out and left without pay, as well as the millions of Americans who rely upon us federal government employees to help them and the federal government to help them survive in America. Please end this shutdown now.
Please welcome International Association of Machinists General Vice President Brian.
Listen, top of the morning, top of the evening, top of the night, whatever time zone you are on, we have been streaming live. We are watching the government shutdown. We're almost going on 30 days here. And I wanted to do an impromptu live today to show the people and let the people really hear and comprehend what's going on. Amp, how you doing? Big Y, Sandra Don't Play, Open Mind, Leroy. Fly was in here earlier. To the people in the bushes, this is what you need to comprehend and understand. And I'm in my a different place today streaming. I'm not in my regular setup. I'm in my room, but whatever. You want to protest capitalism? Capitalism has been good for the working class, but this is what I want people to understand. During this government shutdown, and it's a partial government shutdown, it's not a full government shutdown, that these workers, Border Patrol's not getting paid. These workers are not being paid. When you see these workers come up here, what is it, 20 plus days in? They are not getting paid. Some of them are set to get paid tomorrow. Some of them only get paid once a month. When that month roll around for them, because they only get paid once a month, most of them, they're not getting paid. Not only are they not getting paid, they cannot collect unemployment at this point. So they have no income, working income that they work for coming in. They're not getting their paychecks. They're not getting any unemployment. This is serious. Now, I also need to explain that you still there, Fly? Don't lose your job, Fly. I'd rather have you stay in the bushes than risk your employment. In all seriousness, we also need to understand that this is going to impact people who receive social services eventually. If their state has not been funded, and we know social services really is for kids, for women and elderly, women or men with kids and the elderly. Okay, for those who receive some type of public assistance, food assistance, if their state doesn't have a reserve or their state doesn't have enough funds, that's not been funded either. So we have workers who are not getting their paychecks, who have been going to work for the last 20 plus days for free. We have workers who are not getting or receiving any unemployment, so they're working for free. Number one, I wouldn't be going to work for free. I'm not working for free. My ancestors already did that. I'm not going to work for nobody's government for free, period, at any time for any reason. These people are to be commended. I know this is their jobs, but let me tell you this. It's a different thing. You go into work and you tell your boss you're going to work for free. You go into work and you work for free for 20 days and let's see how you feel. Nobody's going to work for free for 20 days unless you were part of the 1% or the work or the wealthy class. The working class, we're not going in and just work for free. I'm sorry. I'm part of the working class. I'm not going to any employment and work for free. Not for 20 days, I'm not. No. And that's what's going on. Right, Miss Pauline. How you doing, Miss Pauline? How in the world are these people going to survive? Right, right, Drew. And you have all these vacant homes. Right, Sandra. It is like modern day slavery. This government shutdown is like modern day slavery. I'm not going to work for free for anyone. That's number one. I'm not working for free. Number two, like I said, the government programs, which people call entitlement programs, which I've already discussed. They're not entitlement programs. They're investment programs because we invest our tax dollars into them. Not only that, we the American people, now that this shutdown is taking place, we have to pay for this with our tax dollars. I pay my taxes. I'm sure most of you all pay your taxes too because they're taking it directly out of your checks. And if you do a 1099, you still got to pay your taxes. You still have to pay your taxes. So with that being said, for every day that they close, they're costing us billions of dollars in our tax money. Is this acceptable? Is this acceptable? This is not acceptable. All because he wants somebody to pay for a wall. Nobody's going to pay for a wall. They're not coming through the wall, no way. They're coming in underground. They're coming in by ship. They flying in. Are you serious? And Drew, to a degree, capitalism can be the enemy when it works against you, but it was supposed to be set up for the working class so everybody can get a piece of the pie. So this is in the state of Michigan. I can say that this state already started setting up programs for the people who work for the government who are not being paid. They already started setting up programs for them. I don't know what other states are doing. However, if you see somebody in need and you know that they are working for free, they have kids, they have bills to pay, show them some love. That means help them out some financially. Yeah, show them some love, help them out some financially. Yeah, do that. Do that. Right. He should be impeached, technically. Technically, legally, he should be impeached. So, right. No one's going to go to work for free. And no, Miss Pauline, he should not be able to do that. Right. No one can afford health. Right. Right. The price of healthcare is out of control over here. It's out of control. Out of control. So that's why I wanted to do this pop-up impromptu live. I knew this would be the day that they walked out to do the protest, but I wanted people to understand the severity and what's really going on. You have people going to work and who have been going to work for the last 20 days that work for the American government for free. Okay, for free. For free. You have these people not getting or receiving their unemployment. And some people may not get their unemployment. Not only that, some people, if they do receive unemployment, have to turn around and pay it back. Have to turn around and pay that back like it was a loan. So, as a people, we need to be more cognizant of what's going on. I know most of us stay tuned in, but I just wanted to break this down some and really explain what is happening in great detail. Like the Housing Commission said, no, they're closed. No checks are going in and out. Okay, so you have that tied up. Social services, you're going to have that tied up if states are not funded and have a surplus set aside. That's going to start impacting people. You have all these people. And for the people who would need assistance, because it's a partial government shutdown, they can't get assistance because that's not funded. So it's serious. It's really serious. To the degree that a lot of government workers were calling radio show hosts and things like that, asking them, could they pay their bills asking them for grocery money. It's just that serious because they've not been getting any money for the last 20 days. And some people are saying, well, go hit your reserves here, go hit your reserves there, draw down from your 401ks, draw down from this, draw down from that. That takes time, and that's paperwork. So, right, and he should. Oh, he had been taking up donations for the walls, amazing me. Right. So why another solution is, since he a billionaire, why don't he pay for all these people? Why don't he pay these people's salary? Start paying these people bills. So this is what I wanted to come on and say. Thank you all for streaming. I just wanted to touch on this really quick. And you can go watch it. Mine was from Global News. Different news channels have it, and you'll see different facets of it because people are still out there protesting. So make sure you support these people. Make sure Americans, make sure you support them. Make sure that you're praying for them, and make sure that you just stay aware, and make sure that you're conscious of the things that are getting ready to take place. If this shutdown continues, it's not going to be a pretty picture. It's not going to be a pretty picture at all. Not at all. So, right, Amp, and more of those foolish people have donated to a wall. They need to be donating to these people paychecks who working for the federal government for free. For free. Shucks. It's crazy stuff. Okay, so with that being said, you all have a pleasant evening, a pleasant day, a pleasant night. Bye-bye, everybody.